forward. I would like Professor Olatoye to come back. She was saying some things earlier about some efforts going on over there in Ekiti State. Professor Olatoye.
Well, I'm just take on from where the last two speakers talked. This thing about going on lots of parents to support us before it can work. For example, I'm dealing with primary school children, and everybody knows that their attention span is very limited. So if you need to get primary 3, primary 4 pupil to sit for 40 minutes, then the parents have to assist, cooperate with us, and ensure that they are attentive. And help us also to remove distractions, such that nobody is calling them, friends are not playing, they can concentrate on what we are doing. At our end, we try to make the teaching interactive. As the teacher goes on, they ask them questions, they allow them to respond to phone in. And then the challenge is, how do they phone in? Fortunately, we don't require data, they need airtime. So again, we're encouraging parents to ensure that these children can use their phone and they have airtime. And again, when we give assignment later, parents have to ensure again that these children sit after the lessons to be able to do their note writing properly and be able to do the assignments. Like it's been suggested earlier, we are looking at situations where it's not possible for a child to be able to copy all the notes during the lesson. So we're not making efforts to get our lessons on to YouTube, on to WhatsApp, so that after classes, students, and also they are trying to have a website where we'll have all these lectures too, so that children, secondary school students can then go back later. And we're also looking at some of our pupils, students, that this lockdown have taken outside Ekiti and probably will not have been able to access our radio. Because of all of these reasons now, we're looking at getting our lessons onto YouTube, onto WhatsApp. We're also trying a Facebook page and then on the internet.
Okay. So thank you very much, Ma. We also have with us Professor Siki Wamo. He's of the Federal University Wukari. So I would like him to share with us what are the factors responsible for the failure of some of these interventions. Government has carried out various interventions in terms of e-learning and all sorts of things like that. We have some carried out by the NITDA, the Nigeria Information Technology Development Agency, some by the National Open University, the Federal Ministry of Education, the Federal Ministry of Communications Technology, and all such agencies like that. So why do all these efforts, why is it that they are not always successful? Please unmute your mic, sir.
My own response will not be different from other professors who had spoken about the challenges of this ICT stuff. And of course, those things are in place in some universities, in some secondary school. I remember in 2010, we carried out a research on school networking, and those materials that will network and those students will have to do. Some of them have become obsolete because we sent some people to the field to find out whether they are still functional. But the report we are getting now is just like nothing to write home about, meaning that some of them are obsolete. But the current ones that we think we have distributed around now, they are not all effective. My own idea is, in a nutshell, will not be different from what my earlier professors have said. We don't have enough that will do that, but not putting that one at again. I think we can still resuscitate with this COVID-19 stuff. We can still try using, like one professor from Gombe, Professor Adepoju, suggested, we can adapt some of them to still do some things. And that's just what I can say for now.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. And let me just go through comments that we have here. Professor Mudashiru Yusuf says that I want to make some recommendations which are relevant to SUBEB and the TRCN registrar. So, Professor Yusuf, please go ahead.
Mr. Amo, thanks so much.
Yes, sir.
For the educational boards like SUBEB and others, there are things we should be planning to do post-COVID. There's what we call wide area network. The local area network is within a university. What should happen is that SUBEB, I know of Ekiti. You leave Ekiti, within some minutes you are in Ekere, there are so many towns close to Ekiti. It's only for you to have just a single network, which is a wide area network. You are going to have resources housed within the SUBEB building. Everybody, they don't need to go onto the internet. They will be accessing that one for their resources. They are not going to spend any money except to set it up. And you can have it. If universities can do it, what you need to do is you get all these things offline first. Most of them, they are open educational resources. Put them within your university network. And then using the land within the university, you can access them. Similarly, the SUBEB can be the hub for every school within Ekiti State, so that they will be part of the process. The TRCN must make sure that maybe there can be for some years now, the requirement for certification must include at least somebody must have offered a program on online teaching, like I recommended, and we are also listening about it. We are going to have a program for all our students. It will be in our curriculum. It will be on online teaching. You are going to be taught physically, theoretically, and you must teach online. And I want to suggest for every listener here, there are so many things that we don't need to pay for. People are paying so much when they can get things free. There's what we call open source software. For instance, now, we know we are using Zoom now. Zoom is the free version. You can only work for 40 minutes. For the paid version, you need to pay some amount. Yes. $14 or you pay more. But remember, there is a free something you can use. This org is a free platform that can take up to 35 or more. And you can Zoom as you are doing the video conferencing, you can go online at the same time, so that you can have at least 10,000 people online. You can have 35 people that with you live, free of charge, without paying anything. And Moodle is a free platform. Like Professor Adepoju has said, Moodle can be customized internally. But I want to note one thing. Most of the LMS now, they are very good. They were prepared by programmers with ISD experts, instructional system developers. So they are based on educational principle. So they have what we call the techno-pedagogical basis for us to use them. So they are very good. So I want to recommend that we should explore free educational resources, software and resources. That is my recommendation.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. From this conversation, we see that this period provides us an opportunity to improve on what we already have and do better. And we also learned a new word. Sorry, something like that sounds somehow new to some of us, or a number of us, which is emergency remote teaching, which is the condition we have today in Nigeria. That's what we are doing today in Nigeria. Not necessarily online teaching or e-learning, or as except for situations in some universities or some colleges before now, or secondary schools as well. They've been doing online learning along with their regular teaching before now. So we have all learned emergency remote teaching as a concept that we should adopt at this period. And this provides us an opportunity to improve on the situation we have and get better post COVID-19. And we will soon be ending this session, though we booked it for 2 hours. What we stated was we're ending by 4:10. Well, if we have other people that want to comment or seek to add their clarification or some other things to what we've said so far, would appreciate it. We still have some more time to spend here. So, well, in the interim, if you have such, you can just raise your hand. Just click on raise your hand on the platform. In the interim, I would just like to go back to Professor Adepoju. Talking about all these things that I've talked about, we've talked about a lot of things. How do we ensure that the evaluation that we give through online learning, let me just be specific now, online learning, how can we ensure that it's as standard as the one we give for the conventional face-to-face learning?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Amo. I think the good thing is presently we can say to some extent we've got what we call CBT, computer-based testing, which is essentially deploying the online facilities for assessment. We've got the public examination bodies, WAEC, JAMB, NICO, already into that business, so to say. We've got some higher educational institutions. I think I can comfortably talk about the University of Ilorin. Sorry, Professor Yusuf, we've planned to come and study what you are doing in your university just for this COVID-19. So you might be hearing from us anytime. So these facilities are already there. And they essentially, I think we've got the issue of security will have been one of the issues to talk about. But all of these, I wouldn't say they are problems since they have been tested over and over by public examination bodies and they have been using it successfully. However, at the micro level, talking about individual teacher level, it depends on the facilities the school has in place. But essentially what we always say is that the way you handle the face-to-face paper on pencil examination, the security issues and challenges that you face are likely to be the same that you may be facing, aside from technical issues that you might be facing when you are talking about deploying ICT in assessment. But first and foremost, you need to know what you want to assess. You need to be able to know the facilities that are available and then be able to see how to meet up with the challenges. I guess in point is that of our State University, where we feel due to large number of students in underlevel general study courses, there's a need to deploy ICT facilities for assessment of learning. That led into CBT. We have an in-house development of CBT software, training of the lecturers on even how to set questions and how to make use of the ICT facilities and the students in that. But of course, you'll be facing technical challenges, which hopefully you have to meet up with. But as I always like to refer to, the only limitation is imagination. I have used Telegram in assessing my students. Telegram has facilities for that. I have used Google Form for assessing my students, though quite aware of the security challenges. But of course, it depends on the ultimate usage of the results. Like I give student assessments, there are a lot of complaints, the data network connectivities and what have you, but then you still be able to get the information you want. So as it were, it is possible, and I'm sure after going back to the issue of the theme for this discussion, after this COVID-19 crisis, definitely it will open up new challenges, new opportunities to deploying ICT in assessment of teaching as well as assessment of learning. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. So,
hello, Mr. Amo.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Amo,
Proceed, sir.
this is
Proceed,
Dr.
sir.
Olatoye.
Proceed, sir.
I want to ask Professor Mudashiru Yusuf, sir. Prof, please, can you restate those free resources for the benefit of our students? Please, when I get back to my base, I should be able to. Yes, sir.
If you are talking of university
open resources,
open educational resources, there are so many of them.
Okay.
We are aware of the Khan Academy. If you are in the sciences or you are in the business area, you have enough materials that are video based. If you want to have more materials in video, in textual, in application, you can go to Malot. Those are examples. Now, just what you can do is on the Google search, write open educational resources. Write open educational resources. You can write for higher education, for primary school, for university. They will take you there. There are lessons for pre-nursery. There are lessons, there are programs, there are materials for nursery, for primary, for university, for every level that are free. You won't pay a kobo. So now, like I said, I talked about the open source software. For instance, Moodle is open source. Moodle is open source for LMS.
Okay.
And I talked about DISTI, JISTI.org for video, free video platform. And you have free conference call. So you have so many of them like that. They are free. So if you don't have the money, it's true you don't have the money. So you can reduce the cost on patented materials, and then you can have materials that are readily available. There was a lady who talked the other time. One of the things that will determine what you are going to do is not just about, if you are talking about, but she means that one thing, the cost. The cost. If you are interested in something and you don't find the best something, for example, now for conferencing, one of the best, you have the Zoom, you have the Skype, but the cost implication is there. So if you are interested, if you don't have the phone, you go for what you have. So Blackboard is good, but you have others that are not as expensive as that for LMS. So you should be able to sit down. That's why there are things you should be able to do in terms of decisions. But I want to recommend, if you are going to plan for either e-learning, online teaching, or blended learning in your university, please, you must have a plan in place. Not just the ICT policy, no. It should be e-learning policy. Any university, any polytechnic, any college of education, your primary duties about instruction, teaching and learning. The research orders are coming next. So you must have a policy on teaching and learning. Don't just do it, what we do is fire brigade. It will not work. So that if when you leave as the VC or as director, somebody knows where you are stopped, and then you can scale up. You move to the next step.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Professor Yusuf, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
From what we've learned so far, we see that there's a need for the TRCN to work to develop a learning management system for teachers to ensure that it's included in one of the requirements for teachers to be certified as professional teachers. They must be able to use these learning management systems. And I can see that Professor Ajiboye responded that the TRCN will be making that recommendation to the relevant agencies. We have two agencies concerned for teacher education. We have the National Commission for Colleges of Education, as it's still known for now, which is in charge of the colleges of education or other teacher training institutions in Nigeria. And then we have the National Universities Commission, which handles that for universities. So he says that he's going to make the recommendation to them. And he also added that at the moment, the qualifying exam for the TRCN is done with the computer. We have this computer is a computer-based exam. Then we also note that we note the commendation coming from some of our audiences here, some members of the audience. Thank you very much for that. Thank you all for that. And then, okay, Professor Yusuf also said something about the TRCN collaborating with the NTI in developing in-service training for teachers. I am aware that they do such already. So from what Professor Ajiboye said earlier, they need to do more. They need to do more because the capacity they are not covering a lot of teachers. There's still a lot of gap left uncovered in such training for in-service teachers. And Mr. or Miss, I'm not sure, Pamilo Obaze says that, okay, the response has been given. He was asking about typing those things on the chat box here for us to see. So Melot, SlideShare, YouTube, Vimeo, and so are some of the resources shared by Professor Yusuf. So I would like Ms. Kemi Ogunsanya to give her closing remarks along with a comment that she wants to make now.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Abdulsalam. Okay, so I just wanted to draw our attention back again to the topic for this conversation, which is beyond COVID-19, the realities of e-learning in Nigeria. So in the education sector right now, we mustn't all just embrace all this technology and innovations right now. And then when the COVID-19 pandemic is done and then schools resume physically and all that, people now push aside the existence of this technology. Okay, so even though we're embracing a lot of technology now, we must ensure that we continue with it. We must ensure that there's a balance between the traditional physical classrooms and the use of technology. So everything the education sector is doing now, I believe it should still continue. The use of technology should still continue as much as possible, even after the COVID-19 pandemic. Because the truth is that the COVID-19 pandemic only exposed gaps in contingency planning and preparedness of the education sector. So we have to build the sector in a way that we can withstand shocks, such as pandemics and any other situation that might occur like this in the future.
Right. Thank you very much, Ms. Ogunsanya, for joining us. Professor Adepoju, sir, your closing remark.
But for the sake of time, and I will just say my closing remark is just my opening remark I made. The only limitation will just be the user's imagination when it has to do with deploying ICT for any educational purposes. The resources are there. The only thing is just for us to think of the best way to use it for effective teaching and learning.
All right. And Dr. Olatoye, I'll come back to you.
All right. Basically, my own closing remark is that for effective emergency remote teaching, there is need for parents to be supportive. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. I can see that Dr. Mazu must have left because of the time. We should have ended this session by now. He has left already. So thank you very much to all our panelists and contributors, Professor Sanu Adepoju, Dr. Olatoye, Ms. Ogunsanya, Dr. Idris in absentia, and Professor Mudashiru Yusuf, Professor Francisca Aladijano, Professor Siku Amou, Mr. Akintola, and everyone that participated in this discourse this afternoon. I thank you very much for participating. God willing, we'll be uploading this on the YouTube channel is just EduCeleb. So you find it latest tomorrow. You find it there on the YouTube channel. Though some of the parts may not be there inquiry because of some of the technical problems we had earlier. Thank you very much once again for joining us, and have a good evening. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks for the privilege.
Yes, sir.